All right, I got to jump on my soapbox real quick. I think the fact that there isn't gun safety taught in our public schooling system is criminal. It's absolutely criminal. We have over 300, maybe 400 million guns in this country. Why wouldn't you have a country that has that many firearms have the majority of the population understand the very basics of firearms? Like, it just makes sense. Like, anybody who's honestly saying to themselves, oh, I want to save lives. I want people to be safe. I want people to be responsible gun owners. All of those people should be advocating for the teaching of basic firearm safety in our public schools. Why would you not want to do that? We do that for everything else here. You teach the basic safeties of using knives, of fire, of poison, of driving a car, all of these things. But somehow we don't teach the safe utilization of firearms in our public schools. It's almost like you don't want them to learn about it in the schools so that you can just zap it from their brain and then hope that there are enough accidents to happen to make it so that we just say, ban all the guns. When in reality, what should take place and what typically happens with people who absolutely want to keep people safe and do so in a logical, consistent way is to teach people gun safety. It's to teach people the safe way to utilize those firearms. There are entirely way too many adults who don't understand the basic safety mechanisms of using a firearm. And not just the basic safety mechanisms, but simple things like using sights, understanding how to zero a firearm. All of those things in a country with this many guns and that has a Second Amendment there's no reason anyone in this country shouldn't be able to understand and know how to use the basic fundamental principles of a firearm. That should be in all tests in schools. Kids should be required to learn these things so that when they do become adults and they can own these things, they do so effectively and responsibly. But instead, what ends up happening is we have one group of people in this country, one political party in this country, who's vehemently trying to do everything possible to make people as stupid as possible when it comes to guns. So any information that provides information that would make gun use more safely, they avoid it. They don't talk about it. Our mainstream media won't talk about it. Anytime there's a defensive gun use, they just ignore it because they never want to show a firearm being used in a positive light, because they want the firearms to always be shown in a negative light, because, as I've argued multiple times, the goal is to ban the firearms. And because their goal is to ban the firearms, they rather have a country where people don't know how to utilize them safely and responsibly so that they can use that as a justification to restrict them. But yet here we are in 2023, and you have people doing the dumbest shit at gun ranges because they don't know and understand basic safety principles. You have people showing up to gun ranges with no sights on them. Like, why does that make sense? And you know what? I don't even blame those people because they don't know what they don't know. But the problem I have is, instead of our government, who claims that they want to keep people safe, instead of understanding the realities that we have in this country, that we have 300 million guns and we have a Second Amendment right, instead of focusing on that and saying, you know what, we need to come up with a plan to educate the masses so that they understand how to use guns safely. Instead of doing that, no, instead you have people like Joe Biden, who stands up there and talks ad nauseum about banning assault weapons. Like, what? What are we doing? Like, look, I can get it. You don't agree with the Second Amendment, but if you truly honestly wanted to keep people safe and you understand we have that fundamental right and the guns are here, you would be pushing the idea of how do we have a mass education about gun safety. You can send billions of dollars across the world. You can put money towards all the most amorphous nonsense in the world. But for some reason, when it comes to putting together a systematic plan to inform people about firearm safety and the responsible use of firearms, nothing. Crickets. The only thing they put any effort behind is gun control. How do we ban them? How do we restrict them? Never how do we educate people. We don't do that for anything else. Cars kill more people than firearms. We never talk about banning cars because instead what we do is we teach people how to safely use them. But no, when it comes to firearms, no. Just let them be dumb, blind, and stupid and do stupid things and do unsafe things because they don't know any better. So, people, we've really got to restructure the way we look at how a relationship with firearms in this country with respect to the fact that they're here. They're not going anywhere. We have the right. So instead of focusing on denying us the right, if your true goal is to keep people safe, then how about you teach people how to use guns safely? And maybe, just maybe, if you teach kids from a young age how to respect the firearm and how to safely use the firearm, maybe they will grow up not shooting schools up. I don't know. That's just a thought, because the kids that I know who learn how to use guns at an early age responsibly from their parents, they're not shooting up schools. They know and understand how to use a firearm safely. So I made this rant, just jumped on the camera to talk about this because it's frustrating me. It is insanely frustrating because a system like this isn't even expensive or hard to do for the government. Like I said, we're spending billions on so many other things. A simple, straightforward teaching of firearm safety and responsible gun use. Look, you don't have to mandate it. Just create a message, something. Do something that actually teaches people how to use guns safely. No, instead, everything is gun control this, gun control that. You get kids screaming up and down, now ban this, ban that, forget the Second Amendment. No, teach these kids how to responsibly use them, and then we don't have to worry about them growing up to become adults who do stupid shit with guns, thus saving lives. Guns aren't political. That's why I need your help getting this message to spread on YouTube by clicking the thumbs up button, leaving a comment to let me know what you think of the video, then subscribing to the channel. But most importantly, click that bell symbol. For products featured in this video, click the links in the description.